about to unpack some familiar faces on the left, right? Some of them more hurtful to see go than others. And Sam Seder has a little bit to say about it. The Rescue the Republic rally, I believe, was last weekend. We finally had all of the footage trickle out, but this is where you got to see people like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Matt Taibbi, Russell Brand, Jordan Peterson, that dude Brett Weinstein from the intellectual dark web's heyday. They all got together to give speeches and talk about why the left was the biggest existential threat to our society and not the right.
Yeah, absolutely. These events are pretty funny. It's obviously just this big, like, kind of, I don't know. Clearly, everyone's just getting a paycheck from this. Everyone that they invited, it's just like a big circle jerk of, let's all get a paycheck and pretend that we're here for virtuous reasons. Let's pretend like this is some sort of a revolutionary event when it's really basically just like a slightly less impressive version of like a CPAC event, what Charlie Kirk does. And I guess Charlie Kirk's even here. There he is. So he was at this Rescue the Republic event. So yeah, basically this is just like a
TP USA.
Yeah. No, that's what I meant. Yeah, Turning Points USA. That's kind of what this is. Basically, it's just like a slightly less impressive version of that with all of these like weirdos from the internet, like Brett Weinstein and Matt Taibbi, all the usual
Rob
suspects.
Schneider's fallen so far.
Yeah, did you see his tweet blaming that basketball player's death on the vaccine?
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it was real disgusting.
I'm not surprised, but I'm just like, anyway.
Anyway, pretty disgusting stuff. But yeah, do you want to take a look at some of Sam Seder's roast of this before we take a look at the Jimmy Dore speech obtained?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really upsetting to me that I didn't make enough effort to offer money to people to go to this and videotape it. I feel like I've let you guys down. This is Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson. They are out in front of and they're talking about the crazy diversity at the Restore the Republic event. I mean, the diversity went from like all the way from like Rubin through Peterson. Incidentally, they were on tour together with each other like 4 years ago. All the way to, Brett Weinstein, another member of the IDF, and then all the way to Russell Brand, who is now a extremely religious person. I think he's probably getting to the point where he probably would.
He's a born-again Christian, Sam. Put some respect on it.
And even show up with Dave Rubin around because of Dave Rubin is a sinner.
They'd want to baptize him.
Oh yeah, they're gonna commit all kinds of rapacious sinning together on the riverbank, and then he's going to baptize him and cleanse them both.
Also, I said this on the show the other day, but like, guys, it's not going to be very long before Russell Brand leaves YouTube entirely. He's trying to get as much juice as he can out of this whole like anti-vax, anti-censorship grift, the Rumble stuff. But as soon as his like contract is over with Rumble, I promise you, he's gonna go sign with some mega church. He's gonna become a legitimate televangelist, a legitimate, mega church pastor, whatever you want to call a guy like that, the Joel Osteen types. He's gonna do that. He's gonna be flying around on private jets because that's where the real money is. People, I feel like a lot of folks don't understand that. Part of the reason why lefties like Russell Brand do the pivot to become right wingers, it's not just because there's a lot of money on the right compared to the left. It's actually because that opens the door to the religious world, the evangelical world, the megachurch world. And that, my friends, is where the real money is. Everything that you make on YouTube is a right wing blowhard.
Peanuts.
It's peanuts in comparison to what's at the end of that rainbow. If you're shameless enough to go down that road, which Russell Brand clearly is.
Not only shameless enough, dude, but this is a guy that is going to be so sought after in those evangelical Christian communities. These are the guys that took Chachi from Happy Days. This is the guy that took, what's his name? Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains. These are the kind of stars they're working with, because I swear to God, you're right. He's going to be going from one mansion to one mansion, all on a PJ, mega church tour.
Yep.
And it's not just going to be America, guys. They're going to send him all around the world. This guy's going to speak in Australia, Korea, London,
Yep.
Germany. Dude, you guys don't understand. There are Christians all over the place, and they've got deep pockets. They, again, haven't paid taxes ever.
Yep. And a lot of them are really old too. So they're part of that the old money generation. That's where it is, guys. That's what they're doing. That's why you do this whole grift, because that's who you want as your audience, the most vulnerable but also deep pocketed audience out there. Russell Brand knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's gonna. But also, to be fair, Matt Taibbi and Jimmy Dore were there. Also, Tulsi Gabbard and wasn't like Jack Posobiec.
It's Posobiec, I think. But anyway, Zach, this is a nice segue. Do you want to take a second before we jump back to this video to react to a little bit of Jimmy Dore's brilliant comedy special? I don't think you've seen this yet. I know we've made a lot of jokes about how Jimmy isn't actually that funny, but I think this is the best and most undeniable proof yet. I think even you're going to be shocked, Zach, by how lazy this attempt at comedy is.
All right, let's take a look, boys. Let's see if Jimmy can find a way to disappoint even me.
Yeah. Bring in a very, very cool podcaster, Jimmy Dore, everybody.
You know, I may not agree with everybody on the stage here on everything, but we agree on the important things: freedom of speech and the First Amendment. I was just in Canada where they have no First Amendment. They have no freedom of speech. When I was there, I bumped into Justin Trudeau. I was at a meeting of guys who saw the Barbie movie alone.
Nobody laughs at his joke. That was a punchline. Oh my God, this is humiliating. Okay, you know what? This reminds me of there's this place in Kansas City called the Rhino. Okay, and on the first Wednesday of every month, it's open mic night. And
I bet they're all funnier than
I was gonna say some of those dudes upstage Jimmy. He's also drunk, as you pointed out.
Very drunk,
Wasted.
very drunk,
and not in a good way. Like sometimes people get funnier when they're drunk. Like Shane Gillis can crush 10 beers and kill it. This guy can't.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like there are some comedians who even if they say a joke that's not funny, they just deliver it with like an infectious sort of energy, and it's still kind of just funny because of who they are as a person. You can tell here Jimmy's not even like trying to be funny. He's just like, it's almost like he's just reading off of a freaking teleprompter and he's just trying to get to the end of his set or something. I'm like, what is going on here, bro? You're in front of a crowd. You can't bring a little bit more riz than that?
Oh, let's keep suffering.
I don't have much time to talk, but what I want to make what's the most important thing is that we have to stop listening to the corporate media. The corporate media works for the international billionaire elites who want us fighting each other and blaming each other for everything that's wrong.
He's going for an applause line.
Keeping our eyes on them.
Scattered applause, but it's remote. This is bad. He's tanking.
I fell for the propaganda around COVID. I was convinced if I got COVID, I was going to die. I was the first one in. I did everything. I locked down. I wiped down. I wore a mask. I didn't wear a mask in the car alone. I wasn't that guy. Whenever I see those people, I want to go, do you wear a seatbelt when you're watching television? But I was the first in line to get the vax, and I was like, hey, since I'm the first one, is the vaccine safe? And they go, yeah, it's safe. I was like, well, can I see the vaccine trial data? And they go, we're not going to release that for 75 years. I was like, oh, did Pfizer kill Kennedy?
Okay, that one was kind of funny.
Dude, barely, but...
So I got the vax, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go home. They go, you can't go home. You have to stay here for 15 minutes in case you die.
That's not what they say, okay? Just in case anybody's curious. They're like, yeah, we just want you to stay here for 15 minutes so we can keep an eye on you in case you have an allergic reaction when this goes through your bloodstream, because every human has different biology and we just want to keep an eye on you. Anyway, this is brutal. Do you want to play any more of this or go back to the TMO?
We can probably go back to the majority report.
Oh, I actually took
again, not even really trying to be funny, just like the most low-hanging fruit kind of shit. Like, people that wear masks in their car. Like, okay, bro.
How many genders are there?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was 2.
You know, like that's like, it's like old man comedy that's like been thought of a million times. It's in an old joke book. You just dig for one that's retired and like slightly rebrand the plot. It's all kind of stupid shit. He doesn't know how. Real good comics, advanced comedians, you're building a narrative. You're telling a story. You're hitting multiple jokes and punchlines as you're building a larger tapestry. That's what great comedy is. You're telling a story. Like when you watch Bill Burr, he's unraveling an entire outlook on the world while he's also making you piss your pants laughing the entire time, right? It's about peaks and valleys throughout the set as you're building one overarching theme. And then the final punchline is the big one that ties it all together with what you're saying. Jimmy has such a rudimentary understanding of comedy, which is a shame because he devoted his whole life to it and never figured it out. But anyway, it's just pathetic to watch a guy that, claims to be a stand-up comedian. It's like, dude, you can't work a crowd and you've been doing this your whole life. It should be like breathing for you to just get people going.
A screenshot of one of the posters because it was interesting to see who was written up in dark, like letters, like, like on the cloud. It's like one of those like cloud, word clouds. And
who got top billing is interesting to me as well.
I wonder how much these people got for showing up.
Can we pull that up, Bradley? The poster, can you find that?
Here, I'm going to send it to Matt. Matt has it on his IM, but like I'll read off some of it. Rob Schneider. Oh, yeah. And
he got top billing?
He got top billing, but here's the thing. Like I say, this poster, Matt, if you can pop this up, it's at the jointheresistance.org. Rescue the Republic. Join the resistance. They said that twice on the poster because it's that important. It's a band. Brett Weinstein, he's in dark. Colonel Douglas McGregor. Tulsi Gabbard.
What's crazy is that guy came out so hard for Israel. So did RFK. These people have no lines in the sand. They'll be like, genocide is not a line in the sand for you. Wow, you're signing your name on genocide. And then they'll go and they'll speak next to like 4 dudes just for a paycheck because those dudes are going to be out here being like, yeah, dude, I definitely support everything Israel's doing.
Tennessee Jet. Is that a band? Yeah, here it is. Okay. And look at this. So you can see the big bold names are Brett Weinstein.
They try and make it look like a music festival. That's funny. It looks like Shaky Knees Fest, Boston Calling, Bonnaroo.
Weinstein, Tennessee Jet, Dr. Robert Malone, one of the leading lights in COVID denialism.
Yeah.
Senator Ron Johnson gets the same color font as Rob Schneider. Like there's 3 darknesses, right? There's the Rob Schneider, there's the Skillet, and there's Brett Weinstein on.
It's so funny too. Like you can tell that this is like a dumb, like screamo Christian band. 5 times August. I'm like, that's the kind of band that I imagine like Tim Pool has a poster of in his bedroom. Like those.
Yeah.
Are
who's Skillet again? That's a musician, right?
Yeah, Skillet. They had one song I think that was kind of popular for people who were in 7th grade and shopped at Hot Topic at one point. Ever since then, they've been reduced to doing like Christian festivals where like, how sometimes the Sprint Center or T-Mobile Center, they'll get taken over by like a big Christian festival. Like I think it's called like Winter Jam or something. And they'll have all these big Christian artists come and then all the churches from around Kansas City show up and sell it out. And it's a big deal. That's what Skillet's been up to for the last 15, 20 years.
Also, this is that Rob Schneider tweet that I was talking about. I'll quickly share that because it is really disgusting that they're still beating this drum every time some person dies. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sure you do. This is basketball player.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, gotcha. He recently passed away from brain cancer.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize this was about Dikembe. This guy played for Minnesota Timberwolves, I believe, most of his career. He would have been a center, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha. Well, he was really passionate about spreading awareness about COVID and like encouraging people to take the necessary precautions to protect themselves and stuff. Either way, Rob Schneider got roundly mocked for this, and people just thought it was disgusting, but he was blaming the vaccine for this guy's death. Again, he died of brain cancer. So now just anything you die of, if you took the vaccine, it's like, I guess it was caused by the COVID vaccine.
The top there, and the
and there's no rhyme
ones.
I was skeptical of what you were saying, but there's no rhyme or reason to the color choice. Like it doesn't
rotates.
look aesthetically, but it's all
goes
bunched
light,
in the
medium,
middle.
Dark,
Oh, they must be thinking
light.
about who they want to promote. I definitely think
It could be, but it literally goes light, medium, dark, light, medium,
per
dark,
line.
light, medium, dark.
You think it's AI generated? I bet you they used AI to make this poster. That's why the color scheme is so randomized like that.
It looks, that's a great point actually, because it's randomized, but it also has some sort of pattern. It's like nobody would ever consciously make it like this. I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. They probably cheap bastards. They spent the entire budget getting people like RFK Jr., like the Defiant. Like, I'm sorry, but if you put on the Defiant while you're driving, you deserve to get in a horrible accident. Like, I don't know what they sound like, but I'm going to just go ahead out on a limb and say that, it might be a net W for the rest of us.
Yeah. Also, I really do think this is just kind of like a money laundering sort of thing where all these big name people get a paycheck. And then, like, I don't think that many people actually show up to these sort of things. Like, I remember when the Rage Against the War Machine happened, which was the same group of grifters. I think it was put on by the same people. It was like Angela McArdle of the Libertarian Party and frickin' Nick Brana from the People's Party or whatever. I think it's the same people behind this one. And not that many people showed up to the Rage Against the War rally. I think it was under 1,000.
Yeah.
Successively.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's done alphabetically. I think they
That's
choose.
true.
So Charlie Kirk is dark.
You want Rob Schneider and Skillet at the top of it.
Yeah. And don't worry, Skillet's posted again as the last person, if you see there. Skillet twice.
But wait a second. You know who I don't see on that list is what's his face?
Then,
Oh, yeah, Russell Brand. Russell Brand is a lighter color. So isn't Robert Kennedy Jr. Taibbi's up there. Tyler Fisher. I don't know. Eric Bowling. Brandon Straka gets a bold lettering.
I'm going to guess 5 Times August is also a band, although I've never heard of that. In my
Jack
life.
Posabiak. He is a...
It sounds like they put it into like a indie band name generator. It's like the rock band name generator. A couple of mine are like Elephantitis.
That's pretty good.
Paper or plastic. These are the kind of names that they spit out on the rock band generator in 2008.
Naval intelligence right winger
guy. Yeah.
Del Big Tree, who's a big anti-vaxxer.
Brandon Straka's on there twice.
So is Skillet. That's what I'm saying. This is done. This is done so sloppily.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big tent of diversity. I mean, one way to characterize it. Just
Laura Logan.
That's hilarious. It's like me updating the patron board. I was doing that this morning. And I realized some people's name are on there twice, and there were some people who hadn't been subscribed to us since like 2022 on Patreon that were still on there. I was just updating it this morning. It's kind of a similar vibe.
Yeah. Here we can skip ahead to where they're roasting a little bit more of the actual meat and potatoes. Yeah.
I don't know.
But even Charlie Kirk's like on the last line there was just a little surprising.
Here is Jordan Peterson and Dave Rubin speaking to this crowd to restore the republic.
And we should note, just even relative to where we're standing right now with the Washington Memorial behind us and the Jefferson Memorial and the Lincoln Memorial, that this country was founded on the idea that we were going to be different. We were going to be different and think different things. And I guarantee you, if we polled every single one of you out here, this would probably be the widest tent of political thought in America today. That is rare.
Yeah, none of us are voting. Woo!
And they're all just Republicans. Yeah. How's that a wide ideological tent?
Well, the other thing that's interesting about this team, I think putting together a revolutionary team in the political landscape is always a dangerous thing, because mostly what you want from your political leaders when everything is working well is sort of calm and predictable stability, so that you can ignore the political and you can get on with your own life. And that'd be a lovely thing.
That's why Kamala's going to win in November, guys.
To see, and now you have in front of you a relatively revolutionary cabal of potential leaders, and there's peril in that. But one of the things that constrains that and hems that in the most appropriate possible way is the fact that all of the people who are putting themselves forward are patriots. They're American patriots. They're pro-human, and
you're Canadian.
What is he talking about?
Strong advocates for free speech. And
is that what this rally is supposed to be about, is free speech? Because it doesn't really seem like there's a uniting principle around it. It's just like there's a bunch of patriots who love America and we're here to rally.
Yeah, no, they're all giving speeches about how the First Amendment's under attack, and the woke mob is coming for all of us. We've all been canceled. Don't you feel bad for us? We're all making millions of dollars being canceled. Nobody ever hears from us as we speak in front of this crowd, and we all have podcasts and book deals and all this stuff, and we got paid pretty decently to be here, but we're all canceled because of the woke.
It doesn't seem like there's a ton of people there either, I gotta say. I mean,
No, I'm looking for.
you got a lot of people on that bill, and I don't know. Maybe you can't hear it from the stage. So
I feel like it's less than a typical Jordan Peterson show.
I sort of feel like that. Now, just if you're listening at home, Jordan Peterson is wearing a two-tone suit that.
All right, this is where I break with Sam. I'm a man who likes to rock a maroon suit. Okay, I'll wear a maroon suit.
But Jordan Peterson's wasn't just maroon. It's like half maroon and like half blue.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, it's like his weird Batman villain suit. Let me go back a little bit. You might not be able to see it all from that angle. I think he wore it on his most recent.
Yeah, no, that's disgusting. Okay, sorry. From the one angle, I was like, this isn't actually a bad color for a suit. No,
I was like, you better not be about to defend.
no, that's
Jordan.
that's an unconscionable piece. That's an abomination right there. Sorry, for whatever reason, he was just at the perfect angle for me to be like, oh, that color on the suit's not bad.
Yeah, I actually watched the first like 20 minutes of Jordan Peterson's most recent appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he's really proud of those suits, dude. Like, he spent the first like half hour of that interview just bragging about his stupid suits and how like this one friend of his makes them for him, and he was like, I have one suit that's the heaven and hell suit, and half of it is made with lamb's wool and the other half is made with goat's wool to represent God and the devil. And Joe's like, "Oh,
isn't that against Christianity? Aren't you supposed to not mix fabrics? Isn't that like one of the same laws that's right next to like homosexuality? It's the Leviticus, like don't have any fun section of the Bible."
Yep. I was thinking that too. But it is funny, and like as much as I hate Jordan Peterson, it probably is the one thing about him that's the most endearing, that he actually like cares at all about his fashion choices, even though his fashion choices are abhorrent. Like, it seems like most right-wing, like most of these kind of dudes of his age range that are Republicans, they're just like super boring. They just wear the same shit.
Don't forget about the cow guy.
The cow guy. There's a reason he caught my eye, but I do kind of like it, just from a completely apolitical perspective. The fact that he is bold enough, I suppose, shameless maybe, to wear them. But I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think he should set them all on fire. I think
not
that's the only righteous path left. I think that's the only solution.